sharing, and Bora, it's over to you.
Thank you, Tim. I will try to see if I can share my screen. And how did that went?
Yes,
You can
see
see
that.
it.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, this is a short demo, so I will just try to do the main things. I will please go into Sovelia Inventor on sovelia.com. Have a look at those videos here. We try to give an overview over the different functionality. And I will use it a little in this demo since the time is a little short. So let's just get started with the product. First of all, we have a property editor, much like Marco showed you earlier. And this property editor is you can expand or collapse these different sessions. You can dock it like a normal Autodesk application in here. And you can switch between it by using shortcuts. Control Q is a standard shortcut we use for this. So this is just how you prefer to use it. I prefer to keep it open like this and just use Control Q. So I just take it away when I don't need it. Well, so a property handler, that's the first thing we can look at. And we can set this up to automatically measure components. Everything who comes from content center or a sheet metal plate, well, Inventor know what it is and we know what it is, so we don't need to tell the product what this is because we know this is a steel plate. We have also done some adaptations here to use some of the Inventor functionality that Autodesk have, but we cannot use it. Like when you set a material here, and if you use Autodesk method, you get this long list. But inside the material library, for instance, you can categorize your materials. And in Sovelia Inventor, we can select the categories and then set the material from the category. There are different property editor windows for the different types of components. And of course, we have drop-down lists and can set mandatory length or text type. We can also have language lookup and stuff like that in it. So there's a lot of different functionality here. We can set sheet metal thickness and categories and so on directly in the property editor. So, and in addition to that, every file type in Inventor has something called Sovelia Custom, where we can add your code by configuration. We don't have to do a lot of programming. We can just hook up your code. There are 8 possible placeholders for each type of component. So that's okay. If I go and look at the part, you see it's a little different what properties because they are per component. And we can of course make drawing and publish to other formats by just selecting here, and Autodesk has some of this functionality, but we think we do it better because we can add parts list, we can add everything into this drawing when we create it. So it's quite a strong tool. Let's see. And the same, of course, we move our way up to assemblies, and we have a different setting for assemblies here. We can, for instance, if I want to multi-select here and I say, well, all those guys here are maybe defined wrong. Maybe they should be defined as a plate and they're not. Maybe they should have another material, another, well, whatever we want to do. And we can apply and just add this information into it, and it's written down to the part in one smack. So every common property you can just set directly like this. Another good thing here, if when you want to check something, you check your model here. Let me show you all the instances in this model here. And okay, I'm finished with that that part. So I just turn it off. What happens now is that you often destroy your tediously built up design view, but Sovelia Inventor creates a property editor design view, and it will be created every time you start to use this function. We create a property editor view, so you can at any time go back to your original view here. So we can go back to the default view. That's a great little functionality that you learn to love when you do this. And of course, it's we have those other functionalities here. You see they start to pop up a little more boxes here. So of course we can have functionality where we can make drawing like I showed you with the part, but we can make part drawings, which means if I press this button here, it will create drawings from all the parts in this assembly, and we can sort out standard components and so on. We can draw plates. It's a functionality that will pick all the plates for an assembly and sort them on material and thickness and other properties. And of course, publish to other formats, center of gravity, small things. Here is a Sovelia weld. I will show you afterwards. That's what it's for. And the same goes when we come to cancel. It's when we come to a drawing too. Of course, we can use the properties in a drawing. We can copy properties from model into drawing and so on. And you see here, I sort everything from these buttons, can change title block and stickers and so on just by one click of the button here. And of course, we have those can publish to other formats and can link boom lists if you create parts on following sheets and so on. So there's a lot of functionality. We have predefined parts lists, so you can just click and insert. We have revision cloud in drawing, and of course we have center of gravity in drawing. So there's a helpful tools here for the Inventor user to build models. Another important thing that I will mention is there are something called components here. I will not go so deep into it, but when we are creating components here, it's very fast to use. Most for people who use bottom-up modeling, which many still do. Just this small job by inserting a plate, creating a plate which is good defined with properties and correct measurements and so on. It's quite fast and easy to just insert here. So you have a lot of different plates and you can just insert them. It takes me 1 second to insert a component from the components library. And if I just should model a plate with 4 holes in, it will take me a lot of time. But here it takes me 1 second. And of course, there's a lot of other components here, stairs and handrails and so on. And with the time we have available, it's not possible to dig too far into it. But I want to show you these videos. If you're interested to see everything that is in Sovelia Inventor, go into the website, have a look, and see what's in there. Since I mentioned Sovelia welding, I think I will show you what it is, because I had a lot of questions about this functionality. It's not really what we do is that we add weld information into the model. We don't draw any welds and so on, but we click lines, we get the measurement, we add the thickness, and we just number the weld based on what type of weld it is. And can do that in many different ways. We just select, measure, add in, and so on. So it's quite fast. And at the end, what we achieve by doing this is that we can do something that Inventor really can't do. We can measure these welds. We can add this information into a drawing quite easily, and we can really create a list of the welds. And this list can be exported out, and we can sort the welds on how many welds and where they are located. So this is used for controlling your welded constructions, where you can send this out and they can use this list to do NDT testing of welds to identify them. So please have a look here, take a deep dive into the functionality and see what's in it. There's also a basic overview video here on the web page. But this is an effectivity tool for Inventor. It's used a lot in Scandinavia, at least, and our users are very happy with this add-in. It can be used together with the CAD add-in if you want to use the Sovelia components and the other functionality, which is more engineering-wise. You can still use Sovelia Inventor together with Sovelia PLM.